Hello and welcome back to Popcorn and Plot Holes.
Wow, 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 wow.
LISAN AL-GAIB.
We only have three of us here this week. Chris couldn't make it. Other Chris couldn't make it. Something about popcorn buckets. I didn't inquire too much further than that. And that's a joke that you're going to find funny after I tell you that we watched Dune 2.
Because their buckets were vaginas
With spikes.
with spikes.
Spikes. With me as always, Luciano,
Hello.
Spencer,
LISAN AL-GAIB.
What up, everybody?
we watched Dune 2. Whose vehicle would this be? That's a tough one. I'm going to say...
The Zendaya vehicle.
No, that's
No,
too real.
That's too
It's
real. That's
too
not,
accurate.
That's not how this works at all.
No. It's
The
a.
Christopher Walken.
Ooh,
That's
vehicle.
probably
better.
like the best choice. That's where I was going to.
Florence
Everyone
Pugh?
else is too big. No, because she's also like up and coming and very popular right now. So kind of is a vehicle for her.
Sorry,
Bill Skarsgård vehicle.
Bill,
What else we
I
got
like
here?
that.
Josh Brolin.
The Josh Brolin vehicle, yes.
No, it's a Skarsgård vehicle for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
What's his name? Not Bill. The
Stellan.
Stellan. Yeah,
Is it
Stellan
Stellan?
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård vehicle.
I don't know why I thought it was Bill.
Because that's his son. That's the guy
Oh,
who's
right.
in it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stellan
All right.
Skarsgård. You're right. Yeah.
Listen, it's fine. We nailed it.
Listen,
We did a good job.
Gaib.
Let's
AL-GAIB.
sound. Al-GAIB. Let's talk about this movie. We always start with something positive, just in case this movie is not good. So let's talk about Dune 2, its positives. Same as Dune 1, fucking gorgeous movie.
Yes, it is.
Fucking yes. It is.
I particularly loved like the way that they did like Gady Prime, the Harkonnen home city. I like there's a scene where the Bene Gesserit are arriving and they're like in color, and as they go near the sun or outside, it progressively, very slowly gets in black and white. It's just I played that scene like back and forth like 3 or 4 times. It's just so smooth and gorgeous, and the whole idea of it being like everything black and white and everything.
Are you sure that Thor Love and Thunder,
Love and Thunder.
didn't do that better?
No, it did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Yes.
Would which guy is the actor there? It's blanking my
Christian
mind.
Bale.
Would Christian Bale have made a better Fade Rafa
Yes,
than Austin
actually,
Butler?
yes, it would. Better than Mr. Pouty Man. Yeah.
I thought he was Austin Butler was awesome.
Yeah.
No,
But
it was
anyways,
alright.
just a question. We're talking about good things about this movie. Not that there's anything wrong with Fade Rafa.
My favorite thing about Fade Ratha is that he was doing a Stellan Skarsgård accent, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
He did a
Yeah.
really good job.
Like I was like, what an interesting choice to just make like an imperson, like mimic the actor's
guy-
voice
to his face. Yeah.
like to him, yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that he pulled that off without like taking you out of the movie was like impressive.
Yeah, it's good when it's one person because it adds to the depth of the character being like he looks up to his uncle and he's trying to be like him and
Like
take on his
emulate.
You're
traits.
saying you didn't want everyone from Getty Prime to sound like Stellan Skarsgård?
You
The
didn't
entire
want
planet?
You didn't want Dave Bautista to try it. Is that what
Dave
you're saying?
Bautista.
Listen, it was good enough for Wonder Woman when everybody had her accent.
No, that was probably a good choice. Yeah, I
Everyone's
agree.
like,
yeah.
what are we doing here? On Getty Prime.
Even the women. Even the women.
even the women.
Yeah.
Welcome to this planet.
What is that
Oh, it's
accent?
Christopher
Yeah,
Lambert.
I
It's
don't
turning
know
to
where it's
Christopher
going.
Lambert.
Where is
It
it
always
going?
does.
Yeah.
My
Also
name is
love
Stellan
the choice.
Skarsgård.
I love the choice of putting Christopher Walken as the Emperor.
Yeah, he's perfectly clueless.
Yeah.
But he's a good enough actor to come across with like the gravitas of
Yeah.
I am the Emperor, even though I've clearly have no power left in me.
Bene Gesserit, are not trustworthy. Like I
Yeah.
was expecting him to go into like
Yeah, he didn't go over the top.
yeah.
Let me tell you about the planet of LISAN
Arrakis.
AL-GAIB. I mean Arrakis. Arrakis. Yeah.
I was expecting him to go over the top, but he didn't.
It's a very, very sandy planet.
What is that? Is that supposed to be Stellan Skarsgård?
No, that's sometimes Christopher Walken goes into that whispery voice.
Oh,
you know?
that's true.
He'll start off like, let me tell you about Arrakis. It's very, very sandy.
Better.
Oh yeah,
better.
yeah, I know what you mean.
You
Yeah,
did it better the second time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the casting choices were inspired. The new. Do we add any cast members? Not really. Just
Well,
Well, Florence Pugh
And
wasn't in the
Florence
first
Pugh.
one.
Yeah.
just
Oh,
Fade
Florence Pugh.
Rotha.
Christopher Walken wasn't either.
Christopher Walken, the girl who banged Fade Rotha.
Oh,
Wow, Lady Fenring.
Lady Fenring.
Yeah, I like that actress. She's in that video game Death Stranding.
She's
good.
She plays fragile because she's not fragile.
What's her name? Something Seydoux.
Leah.
Leah
I don't know,
Seydoux, yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
how the
yeah,
accent
yeah, nice.
specifically
Yeah.
works. She
She was cool.
She was in one of the Bonds as well.
That's true.
No Time to Die. Anywho, anything else besides the casting we liked?
Oh yeah, I mean, you said it already, but I just want to add, this movie was a technical fucking masterpiece. I think it should win all the awards. It's my only regret is not seeing it. I saw it in theaters, but I wish I saw it in IMAX.
Yep.
Because I know it was filmed for IMAX, and it was like fucking like in the theater. It was just like an experience.
Yeah, normally, like when movies try to make things look super like epic and grandiose, it comes off like gaudy or like cheesy. This one they pull it off. Like just the size of the ships and the numbers of people.
Yeah, and the thing that Denis Villeneuve does, that Christopher Nolan does, is they film these like really epic movies, but they try and make it like I'm like everyone's like, oh, we should do everything practical, and like, no, I'm not saying practical, but they film on location and they'll add effects.
Yeah.
And it feels so big when you do that. It's like the opposite of like the 300 Zack Snyder style, everything green screened.
Even the Marvel stuff, right? Like Marvel,
all everything now.
Yeah.
It's all done in like green screen. It's like, and when you do it, like when you see like a real desert, it's just something different. When you see them there, you can tell. Yeah, and it just feels like, especially when you film with those giant IMAX cameras, and everything just looks like such a huge scale, and it's just like
you believe it's a planet, right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as having like, Paul or other people run through the sand, and the sand effects around him, like it's kicking up on his heel, but it's also sliding down the hill. They're like, you could do that in CGI, but you would never get it to look right without not years.
Not that imperfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it feels like things have weight, like in a way that even with the best CGI right now, it's just weird when you do it. Everything with effects.
Yeah.
I know when they were filming in the desert, it was like crazy too, with all the like the timing they could film with, because they needed the sun at the right, because it used all natural sunlight.
Yeah.
So to film in the desert, it was they had like no like fake sun, no fake lighting, so it was like really crazy to film it with the sun at the right positions for everything. It's like must have been.
I wonder what the conditions that they used to film in Gaidi Prime, that they got the sun so white.
They just told everyone to be black and white.
Yeah. They told them turn on your black and white.
Said, what, you can't do that?
Excuse me, this is a whites only party.
Oh no, he went there.
It's not my fault that Frank Herbert. Frank Herbert.
Frank Dilbert.
Frank Dilbert. It's not my fault Frank Herbert may have written an extremely racist book back in the day. But
when was this book written?
This book? 70s?
65.
60. So 65. Anyways, this is a good point to remind people that some of us have read the book, some of us have not read the book, but we're talking about the movie. We're going to focus on the movie. Yeah. If there's instances where the book does something different than the movie, we're probably not going to bring it up unless it's important, because frankly, books are for nerds.
Yes. And if something is explained in the books that's not explained in the movies, we won't know. That's still confusing in the movie for us.
It doesn't count, yes.
So don't come at us saying like, oh, you just didn't read the book, so that's why you didn't understand.
What you don't know is that in 10,000 years, I don't give a shit. If it's not in this movie, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. This movie should stand on its own. I don't want a Luciano actually coming at me.
Yeah, I'm saying this, so it's got to be. That's only because I didn't read the book.
Yeah, if you read the book, you'd be all over that.
Yeah,
actually, in subsection C, page 342, they say that the lasers are powered by
can only be used in the morning. Yeah,
coal and social anxiety.
That's a different thing.
Do you think this movie would have been helped if it focused more on the grain farming and less on the desert parts of Arrakis?
Instead of if they weren't so worried about spice, if they were more worried about the grain.
If that spice harvesting was like slow motion and about 40 minutes long.
And if they were trying to get the spice from the sand with like sights.
As slow as possible.
Motion. Yeah. I think it would have been an interesting experience.
I know we're talking about Dune, but I mean, you're actually right. Like, if they treated the grain in fucking Harvest Moon like the way they treat spice in this movie, it would be a good movie.
It was Rebel Moon, not Harvest Moon.
What? It should be called Harvest Moon.
Maybe it should be Harvest Moon.
It should be Harvest Moon. We should only call the movie Harvest Moon now. Harvest Moon, the curse of the grain.
That was completely unintentional.
Perfect. Do love me some Harvest Moon. So I think one of the things we want to talk about, we're trying our best to enjoy this movie, but it's a good movie. There's just one thing that caught all of us that we're trying to unpack because it kind of it's woven through both movies.
You got there.
And thank you. It's the prophecy, right? From the Bene Gesserits. And so let's talk about it for a bit, because the way the movie ends, Paul leads the Fremen to victory, and he positions himself as the emperor by marrying or saying he's going to marry the emperor's daughter.
Right in front of Chani, too.
Right in front of Chani. Chani takes it like anybody in 2024 would take it, walks right out of that place.
Oh, yeah.
Back into the desert.
I have to say this. You're talking about favorite things in this movie. Zendaya has one of the best pissed off faces I've ever seen. Like, I was actually scared.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was so good. The prophecy... So, are we talking about the Bene Gesserit prophecy, or are we talking about the Freeman prophecy?
Are there two separate prophecies?
Well, so all we know is that
the
Bene Gesserit had given the prophecy to the Fremen way back in the day to sort of control the population. But much like languages that you give to a group of people and then they migrate away, it's mutated and changed over the centuries. So the Fremen have a slightly different version of what the Bene Gesserit have been.
So that's where I'm confused, because I'm confused because it's like I thought that they made the prophecy to control people and influence them and have control, but then they also believe their own prophecy. They know that one prophecy is kind of made up, but then they have their own prophecy which they believe.
I think it's the one and the same, but like Matt said, it just became like one became the other.
And they're you guys are so stupid for believing that stupid prophecy. That's slightly different from our prophecy, which is the truth.
Isn't that how it always goes?
I mean, I guess that sounds pretty accurate to real life. It doesn't sound so stupid when I say it.
Because the Bene Gesserit have that prophecy, which isn't... It's not really a prophecy as much as it is like almost like something they're engineering, right? Over the millennia, which is a male... quote unquote Bene Gesserit that is going to be born, because they have like the whole genetic memory thing, but only the women do. And then Paul technically is the male that inherited the same thing, and so he is like the prophet.
I really love that we could bring 1965 sensibilities to 2024.
Yeah. A white man
saving women and Middle Eastern culture.
He's both the savior of the women only, like the matriarchal women only society, and of the Middle Eastern sand people.
Yeah, you know what that multi-millennial sisterhood really needed? We need a man to run this thing.
Yeah.
We've done this for 3,000 years, but we need a man to take over.
We've gotten nowhere. We get this man into power.
They did this whole like galaxy-wide conspiracy of manipulating entire kingdoms and empires,
Yeah.
just so that the right man could be born to lead them.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, I believe somewhere in the Bene Gesserit, weren't they trying to get rid of? They were trying to make sure the prophet never came, right?
Were
Oh,
they? I thought they just wanted to make sure that it was going to be someone who they could control.
Well,
right?
at first, I think they're trying to get rid of them, and then if they couldn't get rid of them, they try to control them. That was the
Yeah, because
plan.
that one lady calls him an abomination.
Yeah.
So she's like against.
Oh, I see. Well,
I think Jessica was supposed to like off him or something. If something.
yeah, they
that was in
say
the first
in the
movie.
first movie.
Yeah. And sure, she didn't. So now they've stumbled down prophecy lane. So they didn't want a man to save them. They needed a
I
man to
see.
save them.
Oh,
As
God.
is tradition.
They didn't have the prophet they needed or they wanted, but the prophet they needed.
Right.
I
Yeah.
see.
They got
This
the prophet,
is so bad.
not the prophet they needed, but the prophet they deserved.
They
right.
deserved. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Frank.
A
You
dark
nailed it.
night.
Yeah. And then, so I think that like they had the what you call it? It's a weird name. Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
That's what the Bene Gesserit called.
Kwisatz.
Right? Which quick sack. Yeah. No, I think it means shortening of the way. Whatever that. Whatever. Yeah, so the Fremen had the LISAN AL-GAIB. LISAN AL-GAIB! Which is the outsider who showed the way or something like that.
And then what's Muad'Dib? That's the mouse.
No, so Muad'Dib is the name he picked for himself, is the desert mouse.
Desert mouse.
But you're thinking about Mahdi, which is the word that they use for Messiah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
I
was
get it
confused
together.
as well.
Wow, I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all there, plain as day. I don't know what your problem is.
But
All I
yeah,
know
like,
is I'm a big believer in LISAN AL-GAIB.
LISAN AL-GAIB!
Chill,
I have
chill
to say-
still, Gar. We'll get to you.
No, yeah, I was gonna say Javier Bardem did a good job
Yeah.
of like hyping it up.
The more he says he's not LISAN AL-GAIB, the more he is LISAN AL-GAIB.
Of course, he would say
He's a
it.
genius.
That's what he would say. Of course.
He's drinking the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
Oh,
Hardcore.
he was drowning in the Kool-Aid.
Technically, he's not allowed to drink that Kool-Aid.
That is true. Yeah.
Right. We'll get to that as well. So, okay. So the prophecy is both a prophecy. It feels almost like a story, or not a story, but like
it's like it's one of those like it's a prophecy that you already know. Like the conclusion is kind of foregone, and then you say, "Oh, there was a prophecy about it." Like
Yeah.
there's
It's
a prophecy about this thing that we've been forcing for 10,000
it's
years.
like they're backfilling the story.
Yeah, exactly. Retconning.
Yeah.
It's a retcon.
It's like,
yeah.
it's like saying there's a prophecy that climate change is going to affect the Earth.
Sure.
It's like, well, we're kind of making it happen. So
Yeah, exactly.
Is
yeah.
that a prophecy or is that just?
It's
doing
It's
it?
being dumb. Yeah.
This is basically the same as guessing that, like at the beginning of a sports season, you're like, oh, a basketball team from North America is going to win the championship.
Yeah.
And it's like, see, Denver won. They're from North America. Prophecy fulfilled.
He is the one. He is the one.
Of course, they would say Denver wouldn't win because then when it won, it would be much better. Oh,
Yeah.
genius!
Genius.
He is Muad'Dib.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. The feeling that I got, just because I haven't read the books, I was going to say I haven't read the movies.
We're not
I
talking
also
about the
haven't
books.
read the movies.
We don't talk about the books.
So in the movie, the sense that I got was that it was supposed to show that like it's not really a prophecy; it's something that people are doing on purpose. And like the Fremen of the North aren't as convinced as the fundamentalists of the South. But then at the end, he actually does become Mr. Magic Man, right? So
That's the part that confused me too.
Yeah.
It didn't really. It did confuse me. I'm confused on whether or not I'm confused.
Yes.
No, because the vibe for that I got was that the prophecy was like a scam.
yeah, that's what I thought
that Bene
too.
Gesserit's used to like
Yeah.
manipulate people. But then it's like, but he legit has powers.
Yeah,
And he
especially
legit-
after he drinks like warm blood, he actually can see the future and whatever.
Because then it's like, oh, the prophecy is that he will know our ways and that he will be able to ride the worm. And then it's like, oh, but he can ride the worm. So I'm like the Fremen. I'm like, see, he is the Lisa.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh
Like,
no,
they have evidence, right?
Yeah, but then it's like, oh no, but he was trained from a young age to be able to like understand cultures and learn languages and like
but
he
not
was
ride
basically
the worm.
designed. Yeah, but see,
But,
that's where I'm confused.
But again, like I think they don't show this, but my interpretation of it to some degree is like none of this stuff is impossible for someone else to know, right? Like. Like it's probably a series of like percentage chance that someone can do all these things, and so when you add them all together, to find LISAN AL-GAIB is like so super rare. It's like 0.000001% or something.
Yeah, but it's not zero, right?
It's not zero. So like, Paul can. I'm sure there's in theory there's plenty of Fremen who got a sandworm the first time and wrote it, but because he's not an outsider, it's like nah. Not the prophet. Get out of here. Just a regular Fremen.
He's just the first like non-Fremen to even try, and it's not even that hard.
Who knows? Yeah, right. Like it's not easy, but it's not hard per se.
Like if you're trained properly,
sure.
like anyone could do it.
Right. He's trained to stand on those little butterfly helicopter things. Like maybe it's the same feeling as doing that, right?
Yeah, because they say he's trained like to like really like master all of his abilities, right? Like so he's a very like skilled hand-eye and like perfected.
And he was like trained by Jessica too because of his powers to like mentally as well, right?
So that's the thing that's confusing. So it's like there are powers, but they're not like prophecy powers. They're just people can just have powers.
Yeah, this is just. Well, I was going to say this is essentially like back in the day where you had basketball, and there's some good.
It all comes back to
basketball. There's some good people at basketball, and then the prophet Michael Jordan shows up, someone who trained himself to be right, and then all of a sudden he's the greatest basketball player of all time, and like so it's just like
the prophecy is true.
The prophecy is true, right? Yeah. And it's just like he's just really focused on basketball, and all he cared about was basketball. And so he got really good at it. He was
naturally gifted at it.
Sure, he had a natural gift, but then he got trained to be super good at it.
Yeah, so I was confused by the same thing because for the whole thing, I was like, okay, they're abusing this belief, like they picked Paul and like trained him to fulfill the prophecy because they knew people were going to believe it. But then in the end, it's like, okay, but even the magic shit that he like men were supposed to die when they drink the holy poison. I can't believe they call it holy poison too. But like he didn't die. So then wait, but there is an actual prophecy. I don't know. It was confusing to me what the movie wanted to say about this.
I think
and now they're going to holy war.
Well, the impression, Wait till they call it a jihad.
No.
No.
They probably will.
We'll ask Frank. I haven't read the second book. I have no idea.
We'll ask Frank. We'll have a Ouija board to ask Frank.
Yeah. Like, hey, no, but like I think.
Hey, Frank, what are you doing? What were you doing when you wrote Dune?
Oh God, I can't believe this came back. But like I think the idea was that, like the Bene Gesserits played themselves by creating this fake prophet to control the Fremen. And then it got away from them because he ended up actually being real. Because like once he drinks the worm juice, like he sees all and he can't be controlled, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it their blood? I don't know. She kind of just sticks a tube in there, so I can't tell.
The blood, the stomach juice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think that like that's the thing is like the prophecy, it's supposed to be fake, but it ends up being true. And now, because like when Paul uses the voice on like. I don't know what the Bene Gesserit was. She the Reverend Mother, like the top.
Yeah, she was the Reverend Mother of the Emperor's faction.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
When he uses the voice on her, like shut up, you old bag.
Shut your face.
Shut your face, you old fart.
Yeah, it's clear they've lost control, right? That Paul is now, he's in control, not his own. So that's the impression I got.
So they accidentally made
a prophecy that was real.
Their prophecy was real.
Yeah, they stumbled into the truth.
Yeah.
Actually,
failed
thinking
successfully.
about it this way, it's actually interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I can
You're
go
welcome.
with that.
We'll see how it goes in the second movie.
Second, you mean third movie?
Well, yeah, but like,
Yeah, Messiah.
Yeah, but that's what I got from it.
I guess I can see it. It was very confusing during.
That makes me feel better because it kind of bugged me because the whole time, like I said, I was like, this is a scam. These guys are just falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. And then he's like, I can actually see the future, and I can see your dreams, and I can, control people with my voice, and it's like all these things. I'm like, well, I kind of believe this guy.
I believe it. LISAN AL-GAIB! Yeah.
There's something else I would love to talk about, because it comes up near the end, and it's not Gurney coming back from the dead, but it's the nukes.
Was he dead?
Well, he wasn't dead. They thought he was dead.
We never saw.
Oh.
We know that Duncan died, but not Gurney. Yeah.
But we have the atomic
nukes?
weapons.
The atomics.
The atomics.
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally different.
Such a 1960s like.
Yes.
We have lasers, but what's the crazy thing? It's still
The
atomics.
atomics.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, guy. Get a Death Star in there or something. So, like, no one else has them?
Well, all the great houses do, according to Gurney.
So how come
they-
no one rolled up with some?
They quickly said, I believe. Now I don't know. I may be mistaken. I did watch some YouTube videos that explain.
Oh, here we
things.
go.
So I don't know what's from the movie or what's from the YouTube videos. But I think they said in the movie that they banned atomics. Like they
I
made
don't
it
remember
basically.
anything like that.
They didn't say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
So
just-
then
I
maybe that
watched
was a
it
YouTube
2
video.
days ago, so it's pretty.
I retract
fresh.
that. We said we would only use information from this movie.
Gurney
So in the
basically
movie-
says, "Hey, your dad hid the nukes out.
No, the atomics.
Yeah, sorry. Your dad hid the atomics a couple miles out of town, and you have the signet or whatever, so you can open it."
So, anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah.
This is basically what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think
I thought that was a little too convenient. It's like, oh, we need to attack. The Emperor is here, and he has the giant floating bubble thing. Let's attack. Oh, by the way, we have 95 atomic warheads. Oh, that's gonna be useful.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That could be handy, but they don't use the nukes on the building. They use it behind it to shoot rocks at the building.
I understood.
Well, to
And
get rid of the armies, right?
Well, not just that, but like it shows that the thing where they are has the same sort of shield that they have. So if they shot at it, nothing would happen. But like the rocks falling on it is like slower. Like the knives can pass the shield.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that okay?
That's what
I
I
like that.
understood. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay,
they don't.
that's cooler. That's
it was-
cooler than
It was a
than
way for
what-
them to show they have atomics because that was a bargaining chip, right? To get
All
the
the
emperor
houses have.
to talk. But like the idea was that Paul could glass the planet, and then there would be no more spice.
Yeah.
So that was the bargaining chip.
That
to
is also
talk.
a very 60s thing,
Mhm.
like a nuclear scare sort of Cold War shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
everybody get under your school tables.
duck and cover.
We'll be fine.
Don't look at the mushroom. Yeah. So that's what I understood. I understood that they shot past because they couldn't like aim.
Yeah,
correctly.
because if they hit the shields, it would
Yeah.
have.
Nothing would have happened.
They just nuked the atmosphere, for lack of a
Got
better
it.
term.
Okay, and then, I do think that like nukes were like there's a peace treaty that he is not part of because he's not part of the family. But that wasn't in the movie, so it didn't happen.
Which is fine because I think at the end of the day it's fine because the good thing about atomics is everybody understands what they are, right? So you're just like, hey, we got atomics, so now we
Yeah,
can
but
scare them.
I think like I'm guessing that in the books it was more of a talking point. So when he finds out he has it, it's like,
Hey, man,
no, I'm not saying this is what happened in the books. I didn't read it, but I'm saying
We're
in the
not-
movie because they didn't have that part where they say everybody has them to set that up. When he finds it, it's
They
like what
do say,
Luciano
though.
said.
They do say it. in the
Yeah.
book.
They say it once he finds them, but like you said, it's
Ah,
a little
okay.
too
Yeah,
convenient.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, here are the nukes that everyone has. Let's use them.
I see what
Without
you
setting
mean,
that
yeah.
up, it's like
it's
it just
it's
seems
very
like-
convenient. Yes.
Thank you.
There. Yeah. You're welcome.
Just killed the subject. Okay.
No, that's fine. Let's the atomics are probably a good point to segue into our major plot hole. There's a lot of weapons and tech shown in this movie, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I want to know how weapons and tech do. How they do?
How they be doing?
What an eloquent question.
How they go?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I'm just gonna say what I understood as someone who didn't really understand this movie.
Great.
Um,
Did you watch the movie, Spencer?
I watched the movie.
Okay.
I know they use swords, and like primarily they all use swords because that can get by the shields. But I didn't see in the movie a lot of people stabbing through shields.
Oh, that's because the shields had to be off because they attract the worms.
So then why aren't they using guns?
Because the guns attract the shields.
Wait, what? I thought you were going to say the guns also attract the worms.
No, the guns attract
I
the
see.
shields. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
I see.
Guns, shields beat guns. Guns beat worms. Worms beat shields. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's something we see in the movies, that guns beat worms every time.
you guys want to play Worm Rock? No, not Rock. Oh God,
Worm shield
Knife?
gun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was confusing to me because I was like, I thought, like, I like the idea of like you have to use swords because they are like the only thing that the shields can't block. But in the first one, I remember them like having to be like tactical with their stabbings.
Yeah, and
in
it's
this
not
one,
like
it's
it
just
doesn't
like
immediately go through the shoot. You have to kind of
you have to like get like a point and then slowly go in and then like stab.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot because it seems like it's like changes warfare. But in this, it was just like they're just like waving sword. He's just fucking ninja Power Rangering like all over the place.
But then they had lasers.
Yeah.
Where does lasers fall in the rock paper scissors of worm shield gun?
Well, we don't know if they're. I'm gonna say this: we know they're lasers because of how they fire, but we never see a laser gun. So what if the Fremen just have like really sharp mirrors that they just reflect the sun, and it's like a laser bolt? So it counts as being slow because it's sunlight, but it looks like a laser bolt.
Why would light be slow?
Sunlight is slow? What?
Compared to the shield's expectation of a bullet.
What? No,
I'm pretty sure light's faster than a bullet.
You said a bunch of words together. They didn't form a sentence.
Worth a shot.
Compared to bullets, everything's slow. Okay, moving on.
Speed of light, speed of bullets is faster. Trust me.
Oh, God.
So
They're light bullets. So it's like
I think there are lasers, and I think in the first movie they said that if someone gets a laser hits a shield, it creates like a huge explosion. Like a nuclear.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want that? Like, just stay from afar.
That's what I thought.
Someone with a laser and kill everybody.
That's what I thought they were going to do. There's going to be like a tactical use of that in the movie.
Yeah, but the person in the shield is fine, right?
No, it should explode.
No, the shield itself is like overpowers.
Well, that's stupid then, because why would who gives a shit if you have a shield? Let's just fucking laser everybody with a shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them all explode.
Yeah,
no, but it would kill like everybody. It would kill you too, unless you're shooting from like forever away.
Yeah, it's a laser. You can shoot from like another continent or whatever.
Look how far away they shot the lasers into those skull things. Like that, they were fucking kilometers away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And this is the
are
problem.
Too slow
how
to get through shields. I think we like you said, they're slower than bullets, so they work.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean that. Again, I just said what I understood from that movie, and I clearly didn't understand a lot because it constantly. All I know is throughout the whole movie, I was wondering why aren't they using shields?
Yeah, and like on the subject of like weapons technology, like we see, which is a pretty cool scene. We see the first time that Paul fights with the Fremen when they're like doing the hide and seek beneath the legs of the huge excavator thing. And they're like playing hide and seek with the mosquito choppers because they need to wait until they shoot, blah, blah, blah. And then they manage to take out the choppers, and then it like zooms out, and then you just see people with lasers from like 3 kilometers away slice the big thing in like why just not
in one shot
the mosquitoes with that?
Or
like,
just open with that and just blow up the whole tank from the
why send people under the thing that can squish them? Like I don't understand. I
Well,
think they don't know exactly how things work, so they're just playing by ear. I think that's.
well,
what
I would
that
also
is.
point out that if the shields bring the worms, like the way they show those heads moving, that brings worms too, right?
What
What
do you mean?
heads?
What heads?
Like the way the heads move, right? They have like the little feet that move
Oh,
and
I
the
mean
big
like
legs.
the collectors or whatever.
Well, the collectors, but also like the big skull also has like a very similar thing where like it lifts up and they run in between things and it slams down.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that would
the little
definitely call worms.
spider
yeah.
legs, right? Like that.
It,
That shit would
it
all
does
call
in the
worms.
first. It does in the first movie.
Yeah,
No,
so
they're out of rhythm. They're out of rhythm.
Oh,
That's
so
what that tappy thing is.
they're
It's to
doing
create,
the
like,
sand
weird-
walk.
Yeah, because that thing that taps the ground
Yeah.
is like doing off pattern taps.
Well, the collector is just knocking the spice up so they can collect it. It's not doing off pattern shit.
I thought that's what it was doing.
Well, no, because like basically all collectors have a limited amount of time before a sandworm shows up. So
Yeah, they showed it in the first movie.
Oh yeah, that's true. So they're just biding time. I think maybe the shields are like the walking will attract them, but I think the shields drive them like crazy.
like
They go like
glow sticks at a rave.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. And someone's gonna like the worms come in like, this is my favorite song.
Listen, AL-GAIB!
And they
Just
come
an
in.
EDM version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think that it just like they just pop off. So, and I'm guessing when the shields are in the chopper, it's far enough from the ground that it doesn't attract them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
my only understanding of this that makes any sense is that there was a shield as well over the excavator, and it was being powered from that chopper.
That would have made
What?
sense if they had a set it.
That's my own
Yeah.
explanation in my brain.
Well, it doesn't show that the excavator has any issues because they explode the sides and it just explodes. There's no like
No,
shield thingy.
but we're talking about the skull, whatever the fuck the
Oh.
skull's there for. I have no idea what the skull does. It looked
Yeah,
cool, but I'm
it
not.
looks cool.
Is it
That's
dangerous?
what it's there for.
What
That's
does
what it's
it
there
do?
for.
It's a
there to
skull.
look
Of course,
cool.
it's dangerous.
Fair enough.
It's poisonous.
But yeah,
Do
so
not
like
eat the skull.
don't eat. But like, so the skulls roll out and they're hunting, and God knows what they're doing in there. But Spencer's right. Like, they seem to kill the mosquito ships just because they're shooting the Fremen as they run under the ship. But I don't know why the Fremen attacked. Were they supposed to blow up the wheels? Is that and then they could laser them because it's moving too fast?
It wasn't
That's
looking
what I
like it was moving too
understood,
fast.
but-
They were running with it.
But then, like it's a huge thing that moves pretty slowly, and the lasers are really fast, as we
Mhm.
established.
No, the
Not as
lasers
fast
are
as
slow.
bullets. Not as fast as bullets, but
Right.
still fast.
Yeah.
I mean, weren't they keeping pace with that thing on foot?
Yeah, they were.
Let it run,
So
but yes.
You're saying the laser guys couldn't shoot it because it was moving too fast? They're like, I can't see it. It's moving too quick.
The lasers are slow. What can I tell you?
You have to shoot like
Notoriously,
20
everybody
feet in
knows.
front of him to
Yeah.
line up the shot.
It's like the Dune equivalent of a bow and arrow. You
Yeah,
have to anticipate.
yeah. There's a lot of drift and like.
Is there drop
Oh,
distance?
Oh
on
yeah,
drop
that?
distance on a laser.
The infamous laser drift and drop.
Yeah,
Gotta take account the curvature of the Earth.
yeah. So many things to worry
Of
about.
Arrakis, not the Earth.
Sorry, of Arrakis.
Yeah.
Again.
No, yeah, I don't. It was very like in the first movie. I thought it was one of the more like consistent things, and it was very interesting. Like Spencer said, that they had to like they seem to have this whole new sort of martial technique to take into account that the shields were there, but then they just throw that away in the second movie, just like just knife everybody.
Well, the problem is like I gotta have to reference the book for a second here because this makes it illegal.
Boo.
Illegal, I know, but like, my understanding is like in the book. From the book, the only people that had shields were like nobles. It was for rich
Right.
people.
Right.
And when the movie put shields on like all the spaceships and they drop those like bombs, they kind of have to slowly drill through to blow them up. It creates its own problems saying that anything and anybody can have a shield. Because if shields are only for nobles or only for a select group of people, then you basically don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, and clearly the Fremen never had any shields whatsoever. So, but like, if the ships have shields, but then Do the ships shoot each? Do we ever see ships shooting at each other? In
Well,
this movie,
they drop those bombs from
Right.
the first movie that have the drills, so you'd assume they would just use those in
Oh,
space.
that's right. Yeah.
And then, in which case, why have shields if everybody has the technology to get through the shields?
This is like rock paper shields
there's
all
also
over again.
that.
It's fucking.
Yeah, we all have shields that do nothing because everybody has lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you make little guns that have those like little bullets that have little drills on them?
They had that in the first movie. Remember, he assassinates
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac with that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't know, man.
So shields are useless and also imperative.
Impossible. Yeah. Imperative.
Useless, and also impervious to any harm.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah. So that's what I thought it was weird because they did a good job in the first movie, and it's like Denis Villeneuve was like, "Nah, fuck it, let's just do this."
Yeah,
I want to see some blood.
And they didn't even really acknowledge it, except for like the opening scene. He's like, "No shields," and then they get shot. Which I'm like, oh, well, I guess you should have had your shield.
And then when Fade Rotha fights in the triangular
in the arena,
he turns it on, and then when he fights the last guy, he turns it off.
Yeah, the undrugged Atreides.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the little birdmen try to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think if like you should just be like, you can't have shields on Arrakis because the worms will just immediately eat the shit out of you. So there's just banned on the planet. Problem solved.
I think you just have to make the shields special and unique, not make it so everything and everybody has a shield.
Yeah.
But then you get back to the same problem. Then why doesn't everybody use guns?
And keep it consistent too is probably important.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the thing, right? There's no consistency. If you just said shields were for soldiers and soldiers only because of whatever value, then that explains why people have blades and don't carry guns because soldiers carry shields.
It's useless, yeah.
Right? And I understand the idiocy of saying, hey, we made shields, but we stopped at people. But if there could be coal-powered ships in Harvest Moon, we can make anything happen.
That is true.
No, but like that's the thing, right? Like you can set the world up how you want it. But if you want everything and everybody to have shields, then why didn't they create a solution to shields, right? Like, Star Wars has ion cannons that waste shields, right? Like,
yeah, why? Like, if shields were so prevalent and also so powerful, how come the Fremen are even a problem?
Right?
Because you can't use shields on Arrakis.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It wasn't really like the ships had shields.
Yeah.
The little drill things had shields. Those don't attract. It's a different kind of shield that doesn't attract.
Listen, we're saying shield so much, the word is losing its meaning in my ears.
It is, yeah.
But that's the fundamental problem with the movie is that, like, you create all this tech and you just throw it out because it looks cool, right? Which is fair. Like, rule of cool always applies. But you didn't have to set up this world where then you did things that contradicted the world you set up.
Yeah, it seemed like in the movie they just kind of, like, I feel like he was just like, I can't. I've created this like paradox that I'm not going to be able to solve. Yeah, so I'm just not even going to talk about it, and I'm not going to show it. No. Like some people have shields, and they're just going to turn them off when they want, and that's it.
They're going to turn it off when it's convenient for the plot, and that's all there is.
Yep, that sounds about what he did.
Yeah, I think that's all he could do because of the rock paper shield situation.
First of all, it's shields,
lasers, knife gun,
worms.
Yeah, sorry. What about knives? I thought knives were in there.
No, they're not. That's an expanded version. We don't have time to explain.
That's the DLC.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Knives. Don't want to talk about it. Okay, no. I mean, I think that's really the only plot hole we found was just like the technology was applied and used very, very inconsistently.
I have a question that isn't related to the technology, but there might be a plot hole, but maybe you guys can explain it to me. And again, if the movie explains it, but like, so we see Paul learn how to ride the worms, and then we see that other people ride the worms. That's how they move from north to south, and that's how they attack the Emperor's thing. How did they guide the worms where they want the worms to go? Is it just the direction where the little thumper is?
Pull left, pull right. No.
No.
You got the hooks, man.
No, I have a real answer.
Is a rudder
yeah.
No, you saw the thumper just attracts them when he throws the hooks. It pulls up the little flap that like is like their nostril, and then
it's
sand
like
gets in it.
It's
So
like the things from on planes. What do you call them? The flaps. Yeah, flaps.
Yep.
Okay.
So when it
see.
lifts that
worms are
the flap.
planes. Got it.
Yes.
Basically, and then when the sand gets in their little flaps, they don't like it, so they stay above the sand. So they let one flap go, and then it'll drift onto that side because it'll be able to put.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I said.
That's exactly
the
what
little
Matt
hooks
said.
pull
Left
up
and
to
right
right.
hooks.
All right.
Santa Claus logic.
Answer. Yeah. And question answered. Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice try.
Now, what if a worm had a shield?
Well,
It would
Sorry.
explode.
that's fine because humans are slower than
They can
lasers.
light.
pass through
And then light.
slower than bullets.
Yeah, correct. It all makes sense. Let's
Does it now?
yeah, let's ask some questions. Let's make
All
more
right.
sense of this movie.
Okay.
So, where should we start? Let's just go right to the meat of the issue. Paul Atreides. How is he the real villain of this movie?
I mean, I don't think it's that much of a stretch.
Yeah, let's see. So he manipulates a bunch of. He's a white man. Let's start with that.
Hey,
Am I wrong?
you're not wrong.
I'm not sure that's his fault, but I'll allow it.
What's
No,
his
no, no.
planet? What's the planet he's from again?
The
The water planet?
Caladan?
Caldon power.
Oh no.
It's like that's what it
It's
feels like.
A trade. He's power.
Atreides power, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
he uses his like position as a noble and as allegedly LISAN AL-GAIB to manipulate a bunch of Middle Eastern, Fremen people to do his bidding.
People of lower intelligence, perhaps
Oh,
less
don't-
life experience.
you saying he used the power of white privilege
Yes.
to take over
a less developed society. Yes.
Oh, they're less developed now.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I can't
they
say
don't
they're
even have
not as in
shields.
they're not
They
as
don't even have
intelligent,
shields.
but you can say they're less developed. Okay, that's how it is. Fair enough.
I
Yeah.
think they're more developed
Sure.
culturally.
I agree. You didn't even go to the easy part. He fucking shacks up with Johnny, says he loves her and he'll always be with her. And the first minute a hotter girl comes along, he's like, I'm gonna marry this bitch.
Not
hotter
even, Not even
girl?
hotter girl.
Not
it's
even
a-
hotter. Just
It's a whiter girl
it's a whiter girl, like more
that is
like more prestige.
that has money. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. He went for the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As the
100%.
kids say. He went for the bag, and he's manipulating a culture to create a holy.
That's what I
Army.
said. That's what I said.
No, you said it stupidly. Spencer's
said it
saying it
stupid-
coolly.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I
saying it
said
cokedly.
exactly the same thing, you
No,
motherfucker.
it's way better when Spencer's saying it.
with
Let
the
him
goal
cook.
though of starting a holy religious war to bring to the stars. He's a space terrorist.
Space Jesus.
No,
Yes.
if
Not
Jesus was a
though.
terrorist.
How's he not Jesus?
I mean, he is a like an allegory or whatever for Jesus, but Jesus, I don't think ever wanted to start a war to
Hey, Spencer.
like spread his religion.
If Jesus didn't want a war, what the fuck were the Crusades?
I mean, that's. I mean, it's pretty
Oh
clear
my
he
God. Oh
didn't
my
want
God.
that. They did that.
What do you mean he didn't want that?
I mean,
He never said he didn't want that.
I'm not getting
Never.
into
Jesus has never said don't do the
Yeah.
Crusades ever.
Yeah.
That's true. He never said those words.
So,
He
there we
never
go.
said- he never said don't do the Crusades. You checkmate, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that like the Crusades are like are similar to like what Paul's doing, and Jesus would be not a big fan. I say as a Jewish person who knows nothing
because
about
that
religion.
He's a Jewish bro like we are.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's right. Where
So, Jesus just didn't say anything.
I mean, I think he
About
said
the
don't kill.
No, that was the Bible.
God damn. I mean,
That was the
sorry.
Ten Commandments. Jesus wasn't
That was
involved
Moses?
that strictly. Yeah, through
Didn't,
God. But
didn't
God
Jesus
through
say,
Moses.
"Don't be hating"?
Yeah,
Famously.
he did say that.
Famously, he did.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
did say
See,
that.
that I got right.
But if you're searching for the Holy Grail, side.
That's okay. Then it's okay.
Then I believe is what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but he's much like Jesus. He's the villain of the story.
Said the Jewish man.
That we can agree on.
But like, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he is the villain. Like, I don't even think it's like open to. The movie ends with him starting a crusade, a holy crusade into the stars.
I mean, technically, the Baron Harkonnen is the villain.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
he's the
all of the
antagonist.
Harkonnen.
The Harkonnens fucking conduct genocide.
Yeah.
But isn't that what Paul's trying to do?
No.
Technically, no.
Not genocide. No, he's trying to just conquer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he kill his non-believers? Do they have to believe in Paul?
Paul
No.
didn't kill any non-believer. There was a
Yeah.
ton of non-believing Fremen.
All right, that's true. He's more of like an Alexander the Great, and that guy was famously nice.
He's more
Jesus Christ.
more King Arthur,
Yeah. Well.
and his mom's Merlin.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Actually, you're not far off.
Yeah.
But
And
then it's a reverse thing with Lancelot and Guinevere. He's
Yeah.
also Guinevere.
He's going well. I was gonna say, because doesn't he have a kid with Morgan Le Fay?
Arthur does, yeah.
Yeah. So
Who's
then,
Alan Rickman?
there's another wizard, Severus Snape. I think we can tie this all together.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right, no,
the Reverend Mother is Snape.
yeah, exactly. We've nailed it. Let's move on from this question. We got a lot of it.
Because I don't know where it went.
Who knows? Hey, so I don't know how to ask this. Okay, I'll just say it as it is. Our good buddy Stilgar, he's a believer.
Yes.
Believes in everything, apparently. If Stilgar was on Earth, which celebrity do you think he would believe is LISAN AL-GAIB?
Listen, AL-GAIB! Tom Cruise.
Oh, you think he'd be a Scientologist?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like a devout one, and you know, every time
Like-
Tom Cruise jumped up on Oprah's like sofa or did some other weird shit or ran in the movie,
He'd be like, "See, he's the LISAN
See,
AL-GAIB.
he is running.
Only LISAN
course.
AL-GAIB would jump on the couch of Oprah."
I do.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question here. Do you think Stilgar would understand television enough to separate Tom Cruise, the person, from the characters Tom Cruise plays in the movie?
And I'm the racist.
Well, that doesn't have to do with racism.
Yeah, it does. You're saying that the Middle Eastern man wouldn't understand.
I'll
TV,
say
is
that
what
no
you just
one.
say?
He's not
No.
Middle Eastern. He's Fremen. He's from a space planet called Arrakis.
They barely have televisions anywhere on Arrakis. Where would you have seen one?
Yeah, they don't have television in this
Isn't it a
universe.
thing that they don't have computers because there was like some shit that happened in the past?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was-
Just Spice
there
does
was
all
like-
those things.
No, there was like a
Spice does all the things.
Yeah.
no AI was tried to take over, so they banned all computers.
I think Stilgar would think that because he's on TV, that shows that he's LISAN AL-GAIB. Only LISAN AL-GAIB would be on this magical box. I think.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm in the similar vein. Unfortunately, I think Stilgar would be a big Trump supporter.
Oh God.
I think you would just hear him talk, and he'd be like, Trump would be like, "I'm the greatest there is, the greatest there's ever been. If anyone's LISAN AL-GAIB, it's me."
Would Stilgar mistake Trump for a sandworm?
It's me, your beloved sandworm. That's actually a clip I saw. I got a shout out. I don't know who it is, but someone took a clip and it's Trump's voice over the worm. The worm's name is there's a name for the worm. It's like Shahabib or something.
Shahud, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Hello, it's me, your beloved sandworm, Shahaboob. He's like, you're going to hear a lot about this pesky Paul, this Paul Atreides. He's a loser. It's so good. Find that and watch it. But I think Stilgar would buy into... I don't think he seems very gullible. And I think Trump's methods prey on the vulnerable... Not the vulnerable, on the gullible quite easily.
So Stilgar is a Republican.
He's wearing a MAGA hat, and yeah, and he's talking about he's anti-immigrants from
from Arrakis. From
Off-world. Yeah,
his anti-immigrants from Arrakis. Arakians.
No, he's pro. No, Arrakis is the home world.
Yeah, no,
he's against immigrants.
He immigrated to the United States.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he got in, but he's like, he's the guy kicked the ladder from behind him, kind of mentality.
That's exactly it.
I got mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't.
I think either of those people, either Trump
I don't want to be here
anymore. He'd call him Cheeto Al-GAIB.
The worst.
It doesn't even work.
No, it
does
doesn't.
not. Let's start with the sandworms and get off this topic. The sandworms are... they're not really planes because they don't fly, but they're buses, trains, if you will.
Yeah,
and
subways.
It was
the
right
Fremen,
there, man.
But like subways go underground, and
they come out too. They come out when you hook them on their flaps.
Fair enough. I'll have to try this sometime. Light rail, if you will. Anyways,
okay.
And the Fremen fucking when they get on, like when they travel to the south,
yeah,
and they go through the sandstorm wall, whatever it is, they have so much shit on the sandworm. Like Jessica's traveling in like a little pod. They got boxes and crates of food and God knows what. How do they get all that shit on and off the sandworm? Because the sandworm, as far as I can tell, does not stop moving. It's not like next stop fucking Fremen Town and fucking eases up, come around the corner.
Next stop, Fundamentalist Station.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's it. You know what? I'm glad you asked that question because I actually was wondering that too. And I saw an interview with director Denis Villeneuve, and he did say, he's like, there is an explanation for how they get off the worms, but he's like, I'm not going to tell you, which was just kind of made me feel like there's not an explanation.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
because he never
that's
filmed
when you say when you're like, fuck, I didn't think of that.
And that's just getting off. Like if you were just, Paul riding it, but that's a good point. When they have like stuff on it, are they just
like old people? And,
yeah, they just. I imagine they're just like hucking the boxes off, and they got to walk back and get it, and then tuck and roll.
But also, like the worms are going straight at the city. How did they make this worms just not go just straight through the city?
Well, they turn it. We already told you the flap system,
and then they jump as it's turning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once it's turned and it starts going in the opposite.
As you turn, you slow down a bit, right?
It slows to pivot. That's a good point, Matt.
It slows to pivot, and then everybody just jumps.
You think if they turn like hard enough, it can crash into its own body and stop itself?
Yeah,
lightly concussing the worm?
But wouldn't everybody also just
fly off? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you asked how they got off.
Fair.
That's off.
It's a non-renewable resource then, worms.
I mean, I know we said
every time.
I know we said we wouldn't talk about the books. But I do think that in the books they said that the worms just get tired and eventually they just slow down. And then you get off.
That makes sense. More
but then
sense
it's like,
than I was expecting.
But then it's like, what, you get off just when they're tired and hope it's close to your destination?
Yeah. It's like you get a slightly elderly worm to ride in the middle of the fucking desert. I'm done.
Yeah. We're only going 15 minutes due west. Maybe get on old Betty over there. The worm's like...
The ride is more comfortable, but it doesn't take you all the way.
So then it's not an express train to the south. You got to hit like 16 different connections.
Yeah. You have to stop at a terminal, wait for the next one.
Yeah. You're going to take old Betty down to old Jimmy. Old Jimmy's going to take you all the way down. Now, if you want to take the express, you take young old Clifford. He'll take you all the way, but you will die.
Yeah.
You will die.
You
Yeah.
will die.
You
Or
pack
you'll
a
get there
parachute.
fast.
Pack a parachute for when you need
That's
to get off.
that's another good idea. I like a parachute.
And just step off and open the parachute.
You know, you just throw up the parachute when you're like on it, and it'll just like it's going fast enough. It'll just like eject you into the air, kind of.
Yeah, okay. That works.
That's a stupid answer. Moving on. Paul gets the Bene Gesserit sexy bedroom voice, and he uses it only once when he.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
Okay.
He uses it only once when he tells the Reverend Mother for the Emperor.
He says,
Shut-
"Silence!"
Yeah. But, like,
Abomination.
What else? Like when Paul realizes he's got the voice, what else is he using it for?
Does he have to scream, or is that just like in that one?
No, I think he just because Jessica uses it. All that happens is like the voice gets deeper, but it's not.
Oh
doesn't have
yeah,
to
like
scream.
in the first movie she uses it, right?
Yeah.
She uses it in this one too a couple of times.
Mhm.
He only
she's
uses it once.
She's like, "Take it."
Yeah, and she does it like she uses it. I know you asked about Poe, but fuck it. She uses it in the stupidest way because people are already going to do what she says to do, and she uses it anyway. It's like, go find it. It's like I was going already. Like what?
I was going. God,
Yeah.
relax.
What does he use it for? Probably to demand Chani. Oh, he uses it once on Chani. I
To
think.
demand Chani. Oh,
Wait.
I don't like where
He
you're
uses
going
it more
with
than
this.
once. He uses it on Chani as well.
How?
Does he?
Yeah, right before they go into the battle there. She doesn't want. I don't remember what it was now, but she doesn't want to do something, and he tells her to do it, and she does it, and he uses the voice. So clearly,
Wow, riveting! What a great recap.
He
No,
asks-
I know what it was. It's when he needs her to help him take the worm juice.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
But it
She-
wasn't. He didn't use it. Her mom used it on her.
No, he uses it. Maybe it's her mom. Whatever.
It was
Let me ask you.
Jessica.
Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
He uses it to force Chani to draw him a bath. I think.
You saved it in the end there, okay?
Well, I was
yeah.
really concerned.
I was
Your answer
really-
wouldn't be just.
Not gonna lie, you had us in the first half.
What else does he use it for?
You know what? Maybe you take a seat on this one while Spencer have a go.
Well, yeah,
I
that's what I'm doing.
I think he uses it to like just tell the Fremen who clearly think he's like a lame white kid from the fucking suburbs that he's cool. He's like,
He's
"No,
just-
guys, I'm down with it," and they're like, "Okay." And he's like, "No, I'm down with it," and they're like, "Oh, this guy's all right. I'm not a loser."
It feels very Batman-y, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I was gonna say. Where's the Joker?
and I, my hair's cool. Tell me, tell me I have nice hair. Where are the drugs?
Okay. No, that makes some sense.
I mean, otherwise, why would they accept him? He's pretty lame.
It's true.
I mean, the movie spends a considerable amount of time showing why, but okay.
No.
No, it's the voice.
He just said,
Accept me. Okay.
"Accept me. I'm cool. My mom says I'm handsome."
I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
No, those are all great answers. Thank you for answering. Let's talk about the Jinn. When Stilgar sends Paul out into the desert to do God knows what, he tells him not to listen to the Jinns.
Right.
And he's joking, but we're not quite sure if he's actually joking.
Is he joking? Because don't you then see Jamis for a second?
Jamis wasn't a djinn.
Yeah.
I think.
I think the
It's just
Jamis
a
was a
dead guy.
representation of the Jinn.
Listen, I don't care about that.
I don't
care
care
about
about
your
this
stupid
movie.
theories.
Okay, sorry.
No, I want to ask my question. What?
Okay.
I assume the Jinns are real, so I guess he saw Jamis. It was a Jinn. There, thank you. Good segue, Spencer.
Thank you.
The
Thank
Jinn's
you.
real. What does the Jinn do to people when he finds them in the dunes? Two.
Because he says not to listen to the djinn, right?
The dudes too. Okay.
Correct.
I don't know. Tells him to eat the sand because there's spice in it. I don't know.
riveting stuff.
We prepped the show ahead of time, and yet still somehow
caught completely
I'll
off
be
guard.
honest, I forgot about this question.
it seems like you're not prepared for the questions we're gonna ask.
I was not.
I mean, if you said get him to smoke more space crack, then I would have been on board. Because
There you go. You just said it. That's a good one. Let's go with it.
he provides like a glass pipe, the gin, and he's like,
Smoke this.
smoke this. The first one's free.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
didn't-
he's a gin and a crack dealer at the same time.
Yeah,
First of all,
the
he's a
gin's
spice
like-
dealer.
Yeah.
Very respectable profession.
He's like, I didn't know you
My
like to get
bad.
wet.
My bad.
Yeah. I'm just a ghost, but I didn't know you like to get wet. Like to get with the angels. Yeah, I think that the gin's main goal.
Does he call the spice gin dust? Like
No.
angel dust? But
There's a
gin
door.
dust?
There's a door, and since you take it,
No, I won't.
and since
Usually
you
I'm
use
the
it-
one asking to leave, but I'm not going this time. Yeah.
No, he calls it gin and juice.
See,
That
that's
was-
how
that was-
that's
that
how a
wasn't
professional
better.
does it.
That wasn't
It was.
better.
It was
It was
better.
not.
Yeah.
It was not. It's just that mine was so bad that anything is bad.
Well, that's
Well.
called comedic timing.
Yep. You're the
Okay.
straight man. I'm not
You
sure.
follow the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're moving ahead. Moving forward, never stopping. Why are the Fremen so very good at killing?
Yeah, this actually confused me because they just keep saying they grew up in the harsh lands of Arrakis, so they're the ultimate killing machines, and I'm like, I understand why that would make them really good at surviving Arrakis.
Yeah. Like being survivors is one thing, but why are they so
Why they
good
like
at killing?
why are they like karate champions?
Is that what they are?
Well,
Parkour.
that's what they look like. They're like doing crazy like martial arts.
Sand ninja? Is that racist? It felt
Yeah,
racist.
it
as I
is.
said it.
Definitely-
If it's
definitely
not,
racist.
it is now.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're I'm not going to use Matt's terms, but they're sand assassins.
That's not much better.
No, but it doesn't feel as racist. Like,
It
I'm here with
doesn't.
you.
Yeah, that's right.
It just
Yeah.
feels better. And yeah, I mean, I guess the reason why is they do kill each other, right? Because
Sure, there is
They-
that rite of passage, right? To become leader, you can declare, single combat. But like, I don't know. It doesn't speak to them being like ultimate fighting champions.
And they have a word for specifically for the fighters too, right? The Fedaykin. So like, but like we don't ever see them train, do we?
Not really. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, to some degree, they're obviously good at fighting because they've been fighting, the Harkonnens for years, and they're always
why are they
fighting.
so much better at their
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand.
They're so much better than everybody.
And they don't. They like the Emperor sends the Sardaukar, and the Sardaukar are supposed to be his elite troopers, right? He loans them to the Harkonnen to complete this mission. So like they're obviously, in theory, better fighters than the standard.
Yeah, like it would make
Conan
sense if
fighter.
they were like using which they kind of do some of the time. They use the land and they use the techniques of Arrakis to like surprise them,
Yeah.
and stuff. But then they actually just beat him in straight up like hand to hand combat all the time, and that part doesn't. Maybe they do have their. You said they're not like ultimate fighters. Maybe they have like a
UFC type
like a
thing?
fight. Yeah, like a UFC league. Maybe there's a Conor McGregor of Arrakis. Oh, there he is.
So much sand.
So much sand. And he's like, I'm a fucking king of Arrakis. You fucking losers. Sorry, I can't do it. Luciano, you do it better. Do it.
Hot, 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 hot.
Who's Luciano? That's Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think they have some like secret fighting ring somewhere, where if you can beat up Post Malone, then
Okay.
that's where it starts.
There are levels to this game, and
Yeah.
he's the bottom level.
Yes.
Maybe the deep dark secret of the Fremen is that they fight to the death, and they can only survive because they extract the blood from all the people who die, and that blood is the
But if
liquid they live
Okay.
on.
Yeah, they
okay.
don't, but they don't drink it.
well, let me
Maybe
ask
they
you this:
do.
No, but they're like Jameis is sacred, and we don't put him back into the water pool.
He's sacred because he won his Ultimate Fremen Championship
Season
title.
1.
Season 1, yeah.
They don't extract his water, and then he becomes a djinn. I thought this was established.
That was better, Luciano. Thank you for finally coming around.
It's all
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's all coming together.
Yeah. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yep.
Ultimate Fremen Championship, Jin, Worm.
Moving on.
Listen, AL-GAIB!
If we're talking about Ultimate Fremen Championships, UFC.
Yeah. Nice. Well done.
Let's
Wait, that's what I've been saying the whole time.
I don't listen when you
Matt
speak.
says it once. The good one.
I don't listen when you speak.
You're welcome.
All right, I respect it.
We need to talk about the Harkonnen murder arena. Specifically,
Oh, yeah.
those creepy birdmen who are in the wall and then just pop out to shrink the arena, but also to help Fade Rotha.
Right.
How do you get to be one?
Huh.
Like, how do you apply for that job?
Yeah. Well, get accepted.
Well, do you guys remember that weird scene in the first movie where there's that weird creature with like hands for limbs? There's like one scene. No.
Hands
No.
for limbs.
Shut up. Like, it was I
Got two, actually.
Do you know those creatures who have arms for arms and legs for legs?
There's that freak monster who had two hands
has a
and 2
head on
feet.
top of its shoulders. So freaky.
Fucking weird.
I'm looking up a picture to describe it. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, thank you. I think
Do you think they have to be like Harkonnen, or are they exclusively not Harkonnen?
you have to be exactly 1/4 Harkonnen.
Okay, from
Just
your
a little
mother, your mother's side, or your dad's side? Or your,
I think it's always from your mother's side, based on how
Okay.
I understand culture works. Basically,
Okay.
the Bene Gesserits bang everybody.
Clearly, we've
understand.
seen that in the movie. Yes.
So at least 1/4, no more, no less.
Mhm.
1/4 Harkonnen. And then what happens is they sort of chain you up as a sort of slave, and you need to escape and ride a hippogriff-like creature through a canyon, fall off them for some reason,
And
but
grab
still-
onto it again.
run and grab onto it.
Right.
Um,
right. So you
yeah.
have to
And
be
then when
very
you're
light.
victorious, you're free to join the bird
I
crew.
see.
And then the person who looks after the bird kills it because it's mad at it or whatever.
Great answer.
And is
only
it a
heard
very
hippogriff.
well-paying job, or is it like?
I mean,
You
Or
get
is
paid
get
it
like
an
a-
honor? Is it just the
paid in
honor?
exposure.
You're paid in exposure. Okay.
yeah, you're explaining exposure because
Because
you can
you're
go
always
around
in
town.
the arena, right?
Yeah, you can go around town. You got a little bird insignia on your
Forehead.
black clothes
On your forehead.
Yeah, it's a black bird insignia on your white forehead, so everybody knows you're cool.
knows you're cool.
Yeah.
Just to show, I'm showing the guys, but I'm going to describe this to the audience. There's a creature in the first movie. It looks like a spider, but it has like a human head, and it has hands for limbs. But it has like six.
It has limbs that have hands at the end of them, but it looks
That's normal.
Spider.
It looks like a spider who has human hands.
Yes,
Is how you
there you
should
go.
have described
Yeah, there we go. We did it.
Yes, that is accurate.
it.
So I think that they breed like monster slaves that they use for these kind of jobs. And that was a rough copy.
So wait. How are the weird bird things related to the?
I'm saying
human
those
hand
those
spider?
those weird bird things are actually like bred monsters, and they're not actually humans.
Oh, I see.
And they,
And there's still 1/4 Harkonnen, like Matt said.
of course,
Okay, just checking.
yes.
Come on.
Okay.
Everybody knows that part.
Only the good quarter.
Everybody knows that. That's common knowledge.
And they still have to ride hippogriffs.
Yeah, everything I said was true, but also what Spencer said.
But also they're spiders.
yeah, inside.
Yeah. Yes, and.
Yeah. There you go. That's how you do it.
Yes, and the final exam is a huge trivia show about the best Harkonnen fights. And if you don't pass, you become the spider again. There.
So, Spencer, next question.
Yes.
How do Harkonnens get a tan?
Well, in this movie, they don't.
Are they permatanned?
Are you saying are they tan? They're tanned white.
Yeah, that's what the sun,
tell me.
black and white sun does.
So the black sun tans you white because our yellow white sun tans you. I'm gonna say dark.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm walking on eggshells.
I was gonna say
I'm dead.
Very dangerous
I'm
territory.
weaving through lasers.
This is Sand Ninja all over again.
Oh no!
God, how'd we get here? So you're saying the black sun makes you a snow ninja,
Oh god!
and the white sun makes you a sand.
Wait. So if you're Harkonnen and you don't go out in the white sun, do you stay dark? Is that what you're saying too?
That's racist.
Oh yeah, what I said was, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to.
offended.
Let's go back to talking about sand ninjas.
No, I said snow ninjas.
Yeah, that's bad.
No, I think it makes sense that the sun would, I guess, bleach them to a degree.
Sure.
It makes their eyebrows fall off.
Yep.
Yeah, it burns the pigment away.
Right.
And then when they come to Arrakis, they just have to wear sunscreen. I would imagine they have to
different
wear.
sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Fremen are...
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying a darker complexion. Then, everyone's a darker complexion compared to the Harkonnen.
I think you cracked that eggshell you were stepping on.
You fell completely through. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like they're clearly tanned. I can't have this conversation.
I think we need to go somewhere else.
Moving on. Let's
you.
talk about the Bene Gesserit.
Okay.
Apparently, they have a history of starting prophecies on all sorts of planets to help with their grand master plans of controlling the universe.
Right.
I want to know, what are some of the craziest prophecies they've launched on other planets? Crazier than this one, if possible. This one's wild.
I mean, I think on a planet much like our own, whoever was like the top podcaster was prophesized to be the next LISAN AL-GAIB. And it could be one of us.
LISAN AL-GAIB!
Okay, Dad!
Yeah.
It's very humble.
That
That's
would be
exactly
a wild
what-
prophecy.
That's
I
That
agree.
is a wild prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, this prophecy was that he had to be
it has to kind of tie in with their own prophecy so they can exploit it, right?
Right.
No, they can come up with any prophecy and exploit it. Any prophecy they make that they can fulfill can be
okay.
useful.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, like, God sends his son to Earth, and then he dies, and he gets resurrected.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have to,
Wait, what are you saying?
God sacrifices himself to himself so that he
I'm saying
can...
the Bene Gesserit control the Earth
Yeah.
What are you saying?
through
The Bene
Catholicism.
Gesserit are called the Catholic Church on
Yeah.
Earth.
We want to be banned in all hemispheres. Is what
That's
you're
fine.
saying.
Just cover it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if there was a planet where they don't have carbohydrates?
Okay.
So everyone is like bone skinny, and there's very little nutrition. And then they
You
say
think-
the prophecy.
You know there are
will be
other foods
fat.
besides carbs, right?
No, I don't. I said low in nutrients too.
I only eat bread.
So let's just say that it's a planet where there's like not enough to sustain someone to gain weight,
Right.
and then they make a prophecy that the person who will be the LISAN AL-GAIB will be fat.
The fat one. It's the
And
fat
then
one.
they just carb load one guy and send him there, and then it's done. Easy.
Baron
peasy.
Harkonnen. They send Baron.
And then they send Baron
there.
Harkonnen.
Yeah.
And he's fucking. Not only that, he's floating.
Yeah.
Like, why did they go through all this work? That seems much easier.
Because he bring them all food, or because I feel like
no.
him
He's the only one who can eat. He's the only one who can eat.
If anything, they're eating less.
Yeah.
He's
He's eating them. He's eating them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's cannibalism. Great, we got there. It's good. I'm
Yeah,
glad
well,
we
I mean,
check that box.
do you think it's a far stretch for the Harkonnen to be?
I don't know,
think
man.
so.
I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking
I
questions.
keep on getting the Harkonnen mixed up with that guy who has sex with the tentacle monster in Harvest Moon.
He could have been a Harkonnen easily.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, remember that scene in Dune where he had sex with a tentacle monster? And I'm like, oh no, that was
That was
You don't know
that was
what the
Atticus
Baron-
Noble.
You don't know what the Baron was doing under that black oil.
yeah.
True.
What happens in Getty Prime stays in Getty
Prime. Yes.
Okay,
What
I mean
about,
that.
Moving
what
on.
About what about a prophecy about the last sun of a planet whose red sun is exploding?
Fuck you.
Okay, no, that's
And he has a
no
movie
then.
directed by James Gunn.
So I just to be sure, you're saying no.
Yeah, that no.
Okay, no, just checking. Go ahead.
That's it. No.
If he was, and if if this man from another planet was a ninja, what type of ninja would he
Get
be?
away! Let's run!
Kryptonite?
Crypto ninja.
Crypto ninja. He
Now
also
we're
sells
talking.
Bitcoin. He also sells Bitcoin.
That sounds like the hottest new coin. Crypto ninja.
That's a great prophecy. There's going to be a
is.
coin. There's not
Doesn't
tied to
really
a government.
exist. Yeah.
It doesn't exist, but it does exist. It's
Yeah.
just in your mind.
Have you seen the coin is the profit?
Yeah, the
coin.
NFT of the coin is the
Yeah.
profit.
I'd like to buy your NFT, sir. Do you accept credit cards?
Only.
Here's a blank check.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's give a review of Dune 2. Why don't we make Spencer go first? He looks prepared.
He was.
I'm always prepared. Dune 2. I want to start by saying I did not really like Dune 1. I thought Dune 1 was a little bit boring and not a lot happened. So I was not that excited for Dune 2, but I was like, it got really good reviews, and I'm like, I'll see it. And I saw it in theaters, and I loved it. I really like this movie. You would not know it from this podcast, but I thought this movie was awesome. I think these two movies should have been one movie, but I understand why it couldn't be one movie, but it doesn't really work as two movies either, because the first movie feels like half a movie, and this movie feels like the climax of a movie. But that being said, the climax was dope. A lot, like I thought it was like really way more cool stuff in this one than the first one, in my opinion. And like the stakes were really felt higher and everything. Because I know we're not doing a review of the first movie, but it's like the first one was just kind of like a setup, and this was all payoff. So I thought it was really cool visually, like so awesome. Like the sets and everything was so awesome. The costumes, everything was so sick. Like it was all around acting great. I mean, if I had any critiques, it's that like I feel like I was missed out on some stuff because either I'm dumb or you have to read the book to like fully get everything, which is kind of annoying. But that being said, this movie's fucking awesome, like really good. I would like to say it's like watching. You always say, Luciano, you say rewatchability. Like
Right.
I definitely would want to rewatch this. Like I thought it was really cool and really like layered. So I'm gonna give it my first ever S tier.
You're right. It is the first one.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever done it. I don't think it gets much better than this. I really don't. I thought it was. I left that theater with like my mind was pretty blown. I love those sand ninjas.
Fucking hell! It was going so well.
Oh, God, Luciano, save us from what I brought.
All right. So I will echo much of what Spencer said, and we had a different podcast back when Dune 1 was out, and we all basically said the same thing. This is a great half movie. Now where's the rest, right? And I think this is the rest was pretty dope in this one, but I will stand by what I said back then. And I think this could have been much better as like an HBO sort of like Game of Thrones kind of series.
I remember
like
you said that.
10 episodes or something, because then you can expand on, because I had the same problem. I never read the books, and I know that there's so much like depth to the story and like the little details that we only get very sort of like brushed over. And unlike like a John Wick scenario where it's cool not to know, when you know that there's something there and you don't get it, I kind of feel like you're missing out. At least I feel like I was missing out on it. So that being said, this movie is much better than the first one. The acting is great, the cinematography, all of that, like it's gorgeous, like we said. Very well directed. I think better directed than the first one too, because the first one kind of felt aimless, at least to me.
Better pacing,
but
yeah.
I did find a couple of things like a little annoying, not knowing that stuff, and some of the other stuff we actually didn't even talk about. Raban, I was very flabbergasted by the way that the character developed. But overall, a lot of fun. I would rewatch it. I probably will rewatch it at some point. I think this is an easy A movie for me. Like really good.
Easy A is a movie with Emma Stone.
I actually like that movie too.
As Emily Stone, please.
What?
She wants to be called Emily.
Really?
Since when?
Is that a new thing?
Yeah, it's like in the last month. She's only Emma because there was an Emily in the Screen Actors Guild, but that person, who the fuck knows who that is?
That person's dead now.
Okay.
Anyways,
so
continue with your review.
Andrew Garfield's old girlfriend has a movie called Easy A. Yeah. This is an A for me. It was really fun. Even with the like we kind of nitpicked not a little bit. We nitpicked a lot today on it, but it was fun.
I mean, nitpicking is what we do. That's what you're here for. I will echo what you guys said. A lot of places. Visually fun movie. I think he told generally the right parts of what I understand from the book. The story all flows together. I still think the way they broke part 1 and part 2 is stupid. But we're here nevertheless. I think for me, honestly, so I'm going to give it an A and not an S. And the only reason why is it was a really fun movie, but at times it just felt like there were spots where it just like you could tighten it up. Little things like dragged on or didn't need to be shown, or I don't know if it was like the multiple times they murdered Sardaukar in the desert, blowing up their ships, or like that whole thing of like, well, it was cool, but it's like the whole scene of them like attacking the ship, and like we talked about, right? Like they attacked a ship for no reason. Like some of that stuff was like seemed more for cool and less for value to the movie. But I'm nitpicking to some degree. But I just remember like I had to go to the washroom like 3 times in the theater, and at no point was I concerned about going, because it's just like, oh, it's still in the desert. All right, cool, no big deal.
Did you?
So like,
do you think that this movie that there could have been one movie? The two.
No, because there's too much going on.
Or end up with a David Lynch one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to watch that and talk about it. But there's a lot going on. But I just think they sped through so much to get it all done. I think this is the best you could do for 2 movies. But I think that there was some space for things that you didn't need to have if you weren't 100% planning on trying to do a 3rd movie. Right.
Like shave some things completely off because they don't play any part.
Well, we don't need to know anything about the Emperor until he shows up at the very end.
Right.
It doesn't matter. That stuff is all there because you hired a big name actress to be, in the next movie. Which okay, but I always struggle when movies do this thing where they like plan on having multiples without knowing if people are going to like the first ones. Mm-hmm. And so like, it's just those little things. And like I said, it's not bad. It's just like it's just kind of like it's not an S. It's what takes it out of S territory for me. But certainly still a fun movie. I wonder now we have both of them watching them back to back would make it feel like a better experience.
I feel like like
I
I
don't
was gonna
think
say
so.
that. I feel like watching them together, like as one movie, would just feel like an epic, like sick 6-hour movie. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's meant to be one movie, but it's like I think you're right though. It's like because I was thinking about it, it doesn't work as two movies like perfectly. Like it kind of works.
Yeah.
But it couldn't work as one movie because it's too dense, and it couldn't work as three movies because the act structure issues. I think Luciano's right that the best way would be like a mini series
Sure.
or
Because
like
there's so much story
a
to it,
season of a
Yeah.
show. Because then you could pace it out
Yeah.
whatever it's needed. Right?
Like imagine if they took Game of Thrones and tried to condense it into 2 movies, it would be shit.
Yeah.
Even if it was
Yeah.
just one season. So
yeah, I think you're right.
So,
But-
anyways, nitpicking. We all love this movie. We all had a
Yeah.
great time. Definitely
Yeah.
recommend it. But that's where I fit my A in 7S. Alrighty. Next movie. Listen,
speaking of
We-
Ace,
we watched a bunch of good movies in a row, and now we're going to punish ourselves by watching Madam Web. It's for the fans.
What do you mean punish ourselves? I think let's not jump to conclusions, guys.
This movie made less money than Morbius.
yes.
Maybe we can jump to conclusions just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So listen, if you want to enjoy this, right?
Does it have a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than
Ooh.
Morbius?
I think it's about the same.
Let's check while I
Oh, God.
I'll check.
vamp here a bit.
While
Yeah.
you.
This is like a
Yeah.
measurement of pain.
everything I know about this movie says that Morbius made more sense as a story. So
oh my god.
That's not good.
It's not good. I'm
That's a
really
scary
excited.
sentence to hear.
it's as far as I understand, I think it's a movie. It wants so very desperately to be Spider-Man, but it cannot use anything from Spider-Man to tell a story.
Movies
So,
like a
just to
couple kids in a
interject.
trench coat
yeah.
pretending to be Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So
but they can't say the
just
word
to-
Spider-Man.
So Morbius is at 15% on the critic score.
Great.
And 71% on the audience
Sure,
score.
What?
the
Yeah.
audience is on crack.
Madam Web is 11%.
Oh.
11 and 57%. So it's
Oh,
we
that's a
might have
lot
found the bottom of our. We'll see. Maybe
Find out.
we're all gonna love it because we're idiots. I don't know. We'll see.
There's just a chance.
There is. So, anyways, join
There
us next
isn't.
week for the Sydney Sweeney vehicle, Madam Web.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, before we go,
Yeah,
I wanted to ask Luciano, what was the name of the main character in this movie? What was his
the main character,
moniker that they called-
Atreides.
no? What was what'd they call him?
Listen, I'll go.